Welcome to the Arts in Exile. Raquel Baker presents part of her story, When She Gets Weary.
Zara Khan, Eli Henley, and Jonathan Mall's film, What She Found in the Cave.
Today's show is going to be amazing. We have Adam Linhart and the Farmer's Market Girl.
Narci Lee's Ghost Story. I hope you're not afraid of the dark.
Ventura Artists Union exhibition Insert Water Here at Art City, Project Spaced, E.P. Foster Library, MB Universe, and Goodwill on Main Street, and features Deepocalypse, Sylvia Roz, and lots of art.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, with all the glory and all the passion of all the things that exist, on with the show.
This is an excerpt from the short story, When She Gets Weary. Anthony is back. It's 5 a.m. Something about how the sky slid from charcoal briquette to soft gray releases him into Michelle's backyard, up the back porch steps, and then knocking. Anthony's knocking gets louder, harder on her back porch window, dewy grass on the soles of his sneakers. The cackling of geese turning to screams, ripe as figs, and always there is this purring between her legs. Was it try a little tenderness or free bird? He woke before her, showered, changed into a blue and green striped shirt, dried his locks, letting the towel shimmy down each tangled blonde knot in turn, like water. He sat on the bed, his back to her, she house-sitting a quiet apartment except for the hiss of the water heater and the soft cooing of parakeets. She fell in love with him right there, in that moment. He was singing to himself. He seemed perfect. A song. Was it access bold as love? No, it was sitting on the dock of the bay. That was the one. Anthony wanders the streets, where to go next, what to do. He needs a shower, to eat, company, a warm body, a shower, a bite, to eat. What girls does he know in this town? Does Michelle still live a block from Bart? Let me in. Anthony's face presses on the glass, the wrong side of a moonbeam sticker. Can you hear me? Michelle turns rooms away, wraps herself in blankets. The refrigerator shudders, comes to life. Is someone knocking? What time is it? Anthony thinks it's after 4 a.m. He wonders, what is he looking for? Her belly button, underneath her fingernails, behind her knees. Maybe this time she'll bite back. That's what he's looking for. What he wants is the gentle way skin gives in, the softness just under her t-shirt. Her shirt barely hits the top of her thighs. She approaches the back porch window. He tries to tell her everything through his face. He is smiling. She can't see him yet, even as she opens the window, leans outside, and is with him now, soft like goose down, brush brown, a fig. What time is it? Did I wake you? Anthony is impatient, used to waiting, unused to getting what he wants. Michelle appears framed by the window pane, her face the center, a stained glass flower. She is fragrant and blooming before his eyes. She hurries, opens the back door. Anthony, what are you doing out there? I just wanted you to come out here, see the moon. Michelle is silent. From somewhere like sleep, she pictures him singing. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Then whistling along, she remembers she loves him. He remembers where she lives. They dance underneath the full moon, hand in hand, spinning tightly wound circles, barefoot like nymphs. His locks sparkle, rhinestone with dewdrops. Her skin smells of jasmine, lilacs, honeysuckle blossom. She remembers him like this, imaginary, a song. Anthony whispers, I didn't mean to wake you, his voice a beating. She has no answer. It's okay, come in. I didn't know you were in town. When did you get back? He drops his duffel bag in the laundry room, follows her to her bedroom. His face, a refracted plane, a curvature on the surface of the chrome coffee pot. He is primal, a song.
One of my favorite things about California is all the fresh veggies we got. And all the cool people you meet while buying those fresh veggies at the farmer's market. I met this one girl at the farmer's market, and I went to Florida for a vacation, and I just couldn't stop thinking of her. So I wrote this next song called The Farmer's Market Girl. Hold on, I gotta reset there. Hold on, I heard a little voice. Hold on. This next song is called The Farmer's Market Girl. She's the cute, funny farmer's market girl. The cute, funny farmer's market girl. We the first met when I just finished a set. To be completely honest, it really wasn't my best. I was sitting going out of the line, not thinking that everything was fine. Then a girl sits next to me, looks like $1,000,000. She had a mini Aussie Shepherd by the name of Hux. Well, I turned to her and I asked, how's your day? She said, well, I'm doing okay. Well, did you just play? I'd hang my head and say, yeah, that was me up there just then. And I say, well, I just missed you. Would you play for me again? That's when I looked in her eyes and she made me smile. Now I hope I see you again just a little while. The cute, funny farmer's market girl. The cute, funny farmer's market girl. So a few days later I go to the market, get a few things before my week gets started. So little people that I knew, well, I was shocked when I saw you standing there with your bangs and your pretty brown hair. Had to do my best just not to stare. So I went and bought myself a Romanesco, pretending like I had somewhere else to go. And as I made my way up the bay, well, she just smiled and said, oh, well, this one's on me. I said, you're really gonna give this to me for free? She just laughed and smiled and nodded her head, yeah. The cute, funny farmer's market girl. She would run just for fun, but she'd leave me behind. But I still get to see her, so I wouldn't really mind. Wake up together in the morning, so that way I don't gotta ask how you've been. She put my colors in line and made me feel fine. Then we two set the night away at the end of the day. here I am, just walking away. Now she's on to serving some other guy. And I don't even have the courage to just say hi to the cute, funny farmer's market girl. The cute, funny farmer's market girl. The cute, funny farmer's market girl. The cute, funny farmer's market girl.
Hi, I'm going to tell you a ghost story. It was a dry and windy day. There was an electric energy that was in the air. I walked out into the middle of our street and I stood there feeling good, feeling really good. I was armed with my hammer and my flashlight, and I was going to conquer my number one fear, my number one enemy, 9305 Crabtree Lane, an abandoned house at the end of our block. I was 9 years old, and this dark, mysterious house had haunted me for a long time in my dreams, and enough was enough. I couldn't take any more. I was ready. I was confident. I was determined. I was a little terrified too, but curiosity had definitely got the best of me. I'd been in the house once before when I was 5 years old. My mother forced me to go into that house. We were bringing food. There was a man that lived in that house, and he was alone. His mother had died at childbirth, and his father had recently died of cancer. And my mother was bringing over food to try and give some comfort and show that we were with him. Really, I think she was snooping to get as much information about him as she could. His name was Hank. All the kids in the neighborhood called him Mr. Henry. Mr. Henry was odd. He was really unusual. And when we went into the house, I was afraid to look him in the eye. I was afraid of what I'd see or not see. He was gentle and frail and very quiet, and he never left the house. So as a result, his skin was pasty and white, and he just scared me even more. He was odd, and Mom said he watched too much TV because she could see the TV on through her bedroom window. She said that's what made him odd. She said he was all alone, living alone, and had no friends. But I knew that was wrong because all he had to do was open up the front door and come out. There was the neighborhood. A couple of years went by, and all of a sudden, Mr. Henry was gone. Gone. No lights on in the house at night. Everything was quiet and just dead. Nobody knew where he had gone. Nobody talked about him anymore, and I found it very fishy. Nobody mentioned him. The car was in the garage. Nothing had changed in the backyard. Everything was the same inside the house. He was gone, never to be seen again. Well, on that dry, windy afternoon, I stood there in the street preparing myself. I started walking towards the house. I'd slipped through the gate hundreds of times and peeked through the windows inside the house, but this time was different. I was preparing myself physically and mentally to enter 9305 Crabtree Lane. I walked up, and when I got onto that porch, I felt like I was standing on the Munsters' porch. I was so scared. I rapped on that door and waited. I pounded on that door again and waited. I didn't hear anything. Decided I better go all the way around to the back door before I go in through a window. Got to that back door, twisted that doorknob, and it was unlocked. Lucky me. I quietly stepped in, turned on my flashlight. I went in, looked around at that kitchen. Nothing was out of place. Everything was the same in there. Nothing had been moved. There was just a thin layer of dust on everything. Since nobody had been there, I moved forward. I started getting a little more confident. I moved into the living room, looked around. Again, everything the same. Nothing had changed. A sweater of dust laid on top of everything. I was starting to breathe easier. It was nice to know that nobody had been inside the house. It made me definitely more comfortable. I moved inside, and all of a sudden I started to turn, and I looked at the stairwell, and there was a faint pair of footprints going up the stairs. Scared me to death. I stood there trembling at the bottom of the stairs, yelling, "Mr. Henry! Mr. Henry, are you here? Are you here? Answer me!" I stood there quiet. I didn't hear anything. I heard a bird's flapping wings. That's all I heard, and it was trapped in the attic, I assume, but nothing else, not a peep. I was not satisfied with my findings. I traveled farther into the house, and all of a sudden, I came up to that basement door. Oh, I was shaking so bad, but I'd come so far. I was so curious, and I had my hammer. I had protection. I decided I'm going to go for it. I turned that knob, and the creaking of the handle on the door did nothing to help my confidence. But I opened that door anyway, and somehow I looked inside, and it was dark. It was dark. I looked around. I stepped down a few steps. I turned my flashlight, and I slowly looked at everything in the basement until I got to the corner. There were people in the corner. I tucked away my flashlight, and I held my hammer tight. And I looked again. I slowly flashed my flashlight back over there. There was lots of people over there, and they were all dressed up. They were dressed up like they were going to a party. Nobody noticed me. I was crouching down low. I looked. Nobody was moving. Nobody was moving. I gripped my hammer a little bit tighter. They were mannequins, and somebody had dressed them recently. I dropped everything I had and got the hell out of there as fast as I could. I ran and ran and ran all the way home. I got in the house. I shut that door. I locked the door. I stood there breathing. I was so nervous and so scared. I finally got the nerve to go upstairs and look through my mom's snoop window. That's what we used to call it. I looked through that window, and I looked towards 9305 Crabtree Lane, and I saw the TV turn on and go off, and turn on and go off. And I knew that was just for me. That was just for me, and now I was the only one that knew that Mr. Henry was still inside that house. And I knew, Mom, I was right. He was not alone. He was not alone anymore. He had a bunch of friends, and he was dressing them every day.
On my skateboard, got all my dreams duct taped at the seams, and all my reasons seem to be believed in. But when by the building is gonna be the breeze through the trees now, everybody separates to find the unity somehow. Oh, you know, them thieves didn't steal a thing, but they led you to the edge and watched you fall on in. You're too busy worried about something that you got no business in. And every child needs an escape. I hope it's not lies, I hope it's not hate. Got you hooked on a video game, nothing better than numb that brain. Some got no better role models than the president who's a thief on a throne, and the cops are the criminals on patrol. Now the neighborhood kitty got a gang of his own. All you know, the thieves didn't steal a thing, but they led you to the edge and watched you fall on the edge. Work too busy, work to create it. Like the finger on the wall, you
For some reason, I worry day and night about water. I have a farm with trees, but I'm not making enough art about water. So this piece is about water, but it has a much deeper kind of a emotional, historical meaning, you know. This piece is called She Crossed the River. And the river is stands for two things, as a matter of fact. One is the Atlantic River, which my mother crossed as a very young woman, escaping Europe from the horrors of Nazism. So she crossed the river. She also brought with her, and that was pretty amazing to me as a young child, a little box full with buttons that were very pretty. It also means for me, probably because I'm from South America and I'm an immigrant 3 times, so it talks to me about crossing the Rio Grande, all the thousands or millions of women that cross the river again to a place where they can be respected or have a life or be able to eat and feed their families. So this is what brought me to tell that story.
Thanks for watching the show, and thanks for watching The Arts in Exile.
In the morning, so that way I don't gotta ask how you've been. Just put my colors in line and made me feel fine. Then we two set the night away at the end of the day. But here I am, just walking away. Now she's on to serving some other guy. And I don't even have the courage to just say hi to the cute, funny farmer's market girl. The cute, funny farmer's market girl. The cute, funny farmer's market girl. The cute, funny farmer's market girl.